This here is the playable Hexacast mod, which I've been developing for quite some time now. It's still a work in progress, but I recently added a new feature so monumental that it requires me to explain how it works in detail. So we all know that any Crosscode character, be that Leah or one of my modded characters, has their own unique moveset. Their standard melee attacks, throwing attacks, and combat arts are all determined by their class. But what if that limitation didn't exist? What if we could use any class's attacks and combat arts at once? Thanks to the custom skill system, you can now mix and match to create any hybrid loadout you want. What you're seeing here isn't a custom Triblader version of my Hexacast character. Rather, the same character is just now able to equip attacks and combat arts from any class, not just the default Hexacast attacks. I can equip any combination of Hexacast, Triblader, Spheromancer, or other modded combat arts or standard attacks to make the ultimate custom hybrid loadout. So let's explain how this is possible. The custom skill system is a feature of the Arcane Lab mod. Arcane Lab is a big mod that contains some cool boss fights, but it also has some experimental features such as custom skills. While Arcane Lab hasn't done much with custom skills itself, it's a fantastic framework that other mods can use to allow equipping non-standard attacks. All I had to do was implement the other combat arts for my Hexacast character using this system. Now let me clarify something here. Arcane Lab is not an install dependency for my Hexacast mod, but it is required for the custom skill feature to work. So if you don't have Arcane Lab, then the custom skills simply won't be available, but Hexacast will still run normally. There is a specific version of Arcane Lab that works best for custom skills. I will have that linked in the video description. So let's explain how this actually works in-game. First, head to my dev room located in Leah's attic, and in there, go to the art testing room. If I detect you have Arcane Lab installed, there will be a chest in the top right. If not, the chest won't be there. Inside is an item called Custom C Preset. This is an add-on that you can toggle on and off. Next, head to the hologram sign that's in the bottom left. This is the custom skill menu. There is a warning that the only current supported characters are Hexacast 1 and Hexacast 2. I don't plan to add others yet, but it's important that you only use these with the supported characters. This here is the custom skill menu, courtesy of the Arcane Lab mod. There are categories for all the elements where you can equip custom combat arts, and there's also a category for base. This contains your default throwing and melee attacks. So let's go in here and take a look. You'll see that I've added Triblader and Spheromancer default attacks as custom skill options that are available. Let's pick the Spheromancer ones. Just select the ones you want and press escape to exit back out of the menu. So I'm still doing the Hexacast attacks. That's because even though we've equipped them in the menu, we haven't turned custom skills on. That is what that custom C preset item does. The menu saves your selections, but unless that item is turned on, you are going to still be using your default Hexacast actions. I've also implemented the Triblader standard attacks as possible options. You can use those as well. You can mix and match. You can use Spheromancer range, Triblader melee, or you can press discard to go back to the Hexacast standard attacks. All the element tabs contain selections for combat arts. You see, my default Hexacast combat art is Essence Steel. Now if we go back to the menu, look at all these options I've implemented. Let's pick Bubble Pulse, which is from Lily. With it enabled, I am now using Bubble Pulse as my Wave Level 1 throw art. Phase Stream, this is a Pentafist art. You can equip that one too. Go back to the menu. Fey Round, this is a Spheromancer art. It will use whatever custom skill you have equipped as your level 1 wave throw. And of course, it's not just the wave throw arts. Every single combat art from Spheromancer, my Triblader mod, the ones from the Arcane Lab mod, the ones that Lily uses, and a few custom ones are also in this menu as custom skills. So the total number of combat arts in vanilla is 92. A full character mod will have 92 combat arts, so Triblader has 92. My Hexacast mod is not finished yet. It has about 60 or 70 combat arts, but the number of custom skills that are available right now in this menu is a little over 230. This is in addition to the 70 or so Hexacast combat arts that are in your default moveset. So this means you really have over 300 combat arts to pick from, and any combination of default melee and throwing skills as well. And you can turn those on and off at any time using the item. The amount of custom loadouts that are possible with this feature are pretty incredible, and that number is only going to grow as further updates add more custom skills. There's something I should clear up real quick because it might be a little confusing. When you have a custom skill such as Molten Daggers equipped as your Heat level 1 throw art, the circuit skill tree is still going to say Firehand, which is the Hexacast skill. The skill tree won't actually change, it'll always show what your base class has equipped, but the custom skill menu supersedes it. It takes priority. So here when I disable my level 1 heat throw in the custom skill menu, it goes back to Firehand. If I equip something else, it will use that instead while custom skills are enabled. So let's take a quick break from custom skills for a little bit, and let's talk about the circuit skill tree. Having 300 combat arts is really cool, but in reality, a full set of 92, you're only really going to have half of that, about 40-ish combat arts equipped at any given time because of the swappable branches in the skill tree. You can't equip all of them at once. Now, wouldn't it be really cool if we had a method that allowed us to access all 92 of a full loadout at once, right, without having to go into the menu? So there's actually a mod for this. It's called Art Switch, created by Nax, and what it does is it adds a hotkey to your menu. So if you go to the controls and go to the bottom, there's a hotkey for Art Switch. And what happens is when you press the hotkey, you'll get a little red hacking effect, and this swaps all of your swappable skill tree branches instantly. So let me show you an example. For my Hexacast neutral throws, I have Magic Missile and Hive Missile on the top branch, which isn't equipped, and Mundane Volley and Arcane Volley on the bottom branch, which is equipped. So when I do my throws, I use Mundane Volley and Arcane Volley. And once I press the hotkey, it's going to switch over to the other branch, which is Magic Missile and Hive Missile. And this is all just using a hotkey, don't have to go in the menu, it can do this in the middle of combat. So I press it again, goes back to Mundane Volley and Arcane Volley, and it's not just the neutral throws that are being affected. Every swappable branch in the entire skill tree is being affected. Now, you can also do it right before you actually use the art. So you can start charging and then make your decision if you want to swap or not right before actually using the art, and it will take effect. So what if you do it in the middle of a combat art? Like right here, I toggled it, but Arcane Volley wasn't interrupted. But afterwards, you see that the swap has taken place. So it won't interrupt the combat art, but it still takes effect for your next ones afterwards. So let's take it a step further. There's some mods in development that are used to help out with the custom skill features as well. These aren't released yet, but they will certainly be out on the Discord soon. They add hotkeys to open the skill menu and to toggle skills. So normally, you have to run up to this sign to open that menu, but with the hotkey, you can just press it and open the menu anywhere. This can happen during combat, anytime you can change your custom skills. So normally, you have to go into your inventory to turn skills on and off. Now, that green hacking effect that you just saw there was me pressing the other hotkey to turn custom skills on and off, and you see in the menu, the item automatically got toggled. This hotkey, all it does is toggle that item on and off, therefore toggling custom skills on and off. So I can set my custom skills in the menu and turn them off to go back to the full Hexacast standard moveset, and turn them back on with the press to turn the custom skills back on. And I can combine this with the red hacking effect, which is to swap skill tree branches and have access to all sorts of combat arts at once. And just like the red hotkey, which changes your circuit branches, the custom skills hotkey can be used while you're charging. So instead of Ether Snipe, because I changed it during charging, I went back to the Hexacast Ray of Goni attack. Changed it again during charging to Ether Snipe. So you can wait until the last second to turn this on and off. So together with the red hotkey that swaps your circuit branches, you truly do have access to 300 combat arts at once, at any given time, with the use of these hotkeys. It's really hard to keep track of it, but you will eventually get used to it. Having such a huge variety of moves gives you some crazy combos you can come up with. For example, Hexacast here with Shadowflame Sorcery normally doesn't have access to Overclock. This synergizes very well, and of course Overclock is a Triblader art. Another combo you can do is the Hexacast heal card, if I toggle the branch properly. This is usually pretty vulnerable, but another healing move is Triblader's Tower of Tranquility. The heal card is pretty safe with you up there, and you can stack the double healing of these two different classes combat arts for a pretty good synergy. There's all sorts of combos I'm sure people will be able to discover. And that's pretty much it for custom skills. The update's been out for a while now, so you can go ahead and start playing as this hybrid amalgamation of characters right now. So right now in the mod, you can only access custom skills in my dev room, which is available post DLC. So unfortunately, I haven't implemented a quest or anything yet to make them available throughout an entire playthrough, but that will be coming in a future update. Okay, now I'd like to talk about a different mod. This here is the playable Quadroguard mod, and it wasn't created by me. It's created by a new and up-and-coming modder named Lubkuluk, and he's actually here right now, so I'll hand it off to him to explain what he has in store for you.
Thank you, Xenon. Hello, Lubkuluk here. Like Xenon, I'm a modder as well. He essentially taught me how to mod in fact. After seeing his Triblader video, I started modding a year ago or so with no previous coding experience. I am working on a Quadroguard class, which aims to offer a unique playstyle like no other class would. Since the class is a tank class, it will act as the front line of the team with slow but strong attacks, buffs and great crowd control, all while being capable when alone. Instead of the vanilla shield attack, Quadroguards now use a hammer, possessing a swipe attack similar to a Triblader or Spheromancer, with the default finisher attack being a really powerful slam that hits all enemies in a large area. This custom sprite animation used during this attack and some others have been made thanks to the artist Hotkeys, who helped me with this project a lot, so thank you Hotkeys. To offset their slow speed, most of the Quadroguards combat arts and their base attacks have super armor. If you are a fighting game player, you are likely to be familiar with the term, but for those who aren't, Quadroguards are difficult to interrupt during most of their attacks, only getting cancelled or knocked out of them by stronger ones. This allows you to keep on fighting despite the damage you take and allows you to brute force your way through enemies. But these weren't necessarily what made the class actually unique, because I would like to showcase an important combat art, Hammer Throw. John throws his hammer, which damages all enemies before stopping. The hammer stays on the ground until the combat art is used again or you exit the map. When the hammer is on the ground as you see, many of Jar's combat arts along with his default melee attack will change. Let's look at an example to see how. Gravity Pull is a simple combat art that creates an aura which pulls in enemies nearby and deals moderate damage to them for a duration. Nothing too crazy. If the hammer is on the ground however, the combat art turns into Gravity Explosion, a stronger version of Gravity Pull that is used around the hammer and ends with an explosion. Since Gravity Explosion is disjointed from Jar, this can allow you to chain other combat arts, especially slow ones like Charge and Ramping Strikes. Or, you could decide to use other combat arts that are used on the hammer to catch enemies in a big combo. In short, with great usage of the hammer, Quadroguards could fit more than one role just like the traditional paladin class in other RPGs do. There exist many combos and setups to discover, but if you are wondering how it would feel like to face a Quadroguard, Bergen Trail has just the thing for you. Introducing the LQM PvP. Aimed at experienced players, this will be a showcase for how good you can manage two enemies at the same time, while fighting alongside Emily. Beware of Apollo's team attacks and Jor's defensive behaviors though. There will be more PvP fights in the future with much more interesting fights to experience. Although there isn't much currently, I plan to add skills to the previously mentioned Arcane Lab custom skill tree, so that you can increase the already massive possible skill combinations. Regarding the mod's future, there is a custom skin planned to be finished which is Quadroguard Leia. It's Leia in Quadroguard armor during Quadroguard attacks. Pretty self-explanatory. However, that's not to say that I won't be creating any other content besides Quadroguard. I already created some other mods in fact, albeit much different in tone. Like this texture mod that changes the shock element's color from purple and pink to a bright yellow. Or custom circuit tree mods that change your stats greatly to fit a certain playstyle. And this questionable one. As for a major mod, I will very likely do another class mod up to Quadroguard finishes if I am still around. That class sadly won't be a Pentafist, but if you want to make one, I would happily help. The class I am planning to do is the Starcaller, a summoner class which focuses on dealing damage with summoned creatures or using them for advantage, performing synchronized attacks or just overwhelming enemies by swarming them. This class needs a lot of help to be functional, however, both technical help relating to the game's code, such as the ones that are shown on the screen, and help related to visuals as in custom sprites for the class, alongside with custom enemies to summon, since I am not particularly good at pixel art myself. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions regarding me, my mods, or Crosscode modding in general, don't hesitate to contact me on Discord. I will try to help regardless of whichever method you pick to communicate with me. Take care.